Yo, YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim. He is KJ. This is the Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report. And today we are talking about a man who I said he sucked, and I gotta give him props. He proved me wrong. Michael Vick. Now, I'm not ready to say Michael Vick is Peyton Manning yet, but KJ, what do you think's gone right for Michael Vick this year? That he's become a guy who was, a nice quarterback. He could run, but really wasn't that good a passer. Why has he been better this year?
Well, I think it's kind of like all the threats he has at wide receiver position. He has a great wide receiver in Macklin. He's improving very fast, and you got Deshaun Jackson, and then Avon, and you have a tight end like Selleck, and then a good running back like LaShawn McCoy. So it keeps defenses a little more with the run game, because when he was at Atlanta, he didn't have. What I remember, he didn't have much of a rushing game except for himself. So, I just think he's throwing the ball a lot better. He has a cannon. He has an absolute cannon. He's doing really well. So, I like to see him keep doing what he's doing because, coming back from that injury against the Colts is very surprised. A lot of people doubted him coming back on a strong game, but he did, and he proved a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, that's not exactly the team you want to come back from an injury on. The thing I think he's done is, you used to be able to say, well, he can run and he can throw the deep ball. But I think now he can complete like the 15-yard pass, which has just made him such a threat, because everyone said that last year he just didn't have his legs underneath him, and that he's gotten them back this year. I've really been impressed with how he can run. I think what he needs to do, though, is rely on running as his second thing. If it's 4th and 4 and no one gets open, then yeah, run. But if it's 4th and 4 and you got a guy open, then I would say throw, because we saw what he did with the Redskins. Everyone said he's played reckless his whole career. That's something he needs to stop doing or he's going to get hurt.
I hear you there with getting hurt, because he did take a lot of hits in that Colts game, as they showed, and they were talking about at halftime. He took quite a few hits, but that's one thing he has to work on. Otherwise, I think he's doing really well.
Yeah, he really has been good. Now, do you think he's the Eagles' franchise QB, the Eagles' Ben Roethlisberger, or Peyton Manning, or Tom Brady?
I think it's possible if he keeps the way he's playing, and then if he keeps it up this year, and he goes into next season and does the same thing like he played in the beginning of this season, I think that he will. I think he will be the franchise quarterback there.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think as long as he keeps it up throughout the regular season. Now, he's not going to keep playing how he is, and that's the bottom line. He's playing out of this world right now. Incredible. Thank God he's on my fantasy team. But, yeah, you're lucky. But he's really just playing way better than I think anyone thought he could. But I think the thing we also got to look at here is, how does he perform in the playoffs? The Eagles just got over a quarterback in McNabb who he performed all right in the first couple rounds, but when it came to the NFC title game and the Super Bowl, he just wasn't there. And I don't know if you'll get to see that with Vick this year, although from what I've heard from guys like Brian Baldinger and from the NFL Network and guys like that, the NFC is wide open. The Eagles could go there. Do you feel like Vick has a chance to lead them to the Super Bowl?
I think it would be I would really like to see that happen. I don't know if it will, because of a lot of injuries happening. Like, say he were to get hurt, I think they would have a very small chance. But with Vick in that lineup, I think that they could possibly go to the Super Bowl. Why not?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think they could. I'm not saying they're gonna. There's other teams that I look at right now. I think the Giants will still beat the Eagles. I hate to say it, but I think the Giants are a better team than the Eagles right now.
I think the Giants are a little well-rounded. Just, more chemistry maybe there. I don't really. I think that game's going to be a real good game. But I think you're right with the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like any kind of blowout whatsoever, but I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, I think it will be a close game, but I think what's been proven before, even when Vick was just a runner, is that he isn't great. If you can stop him, you can keep him from being able to run. If you bring a lot of guys pressure and no one gets open for him. I've been told and watched some film on the NFL Network of the Eagles who stopped him in that NFC Championship game from really being able to run and everything. So he can be stopped, which is kind of a fear for the Eagles. And you said something about him getting hurt. This leads all to Kevin Cobb, who's due about $11 million next year. I don't know how much that's guaranteed. I can't believe the Eagles gave him that much money for a season, considering he had never played a season.
Considering that was just kind of like he never really had they were looking to put him at what the franchise quarterback, basically see if he could take that role this year. And I think they gave him way too much money to start with when they never saw him in a regular season before. And look where all that money's going now. He's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, luckily I believe most of that isn't guaranteed money, so they can. And I think, looking at Cobb in the future, I saw some good things out of him. He really played well in that game against the Falcons. The game against Tennessee, hey, Tennessee is one of the best defenses in the NFL.
They do. So that was a tough game for him. I think him playing in that game made him look worse than what he was, just because, hey, when you're playing a defense like Tennessee, I mean, it's not fun.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing was, he threw 2 interceptions in that game. Really, he threw a touchdown and a pick. That second interception came on a Hail Mary to the end zone. I don't really count that. I mean, I've always been someone who said Kevin Cobb can do it, and I think he can, but I think he needs to get a shot next year, and you know what? I don't know if he's going to go somewhere where he's just going to be guaranteed the starting position. I don't know what team out there is going to do that for Kevin Cobb.
You never know. You can see somebody like Buffalo.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't he...
Yeah, I know what you mean there.
Like, is going to Buffalo? I think I'd rather be the backup quarterback for my... I think I'd rather be the backup quarterback anywhere than go to Buffalo. I mean, the thing, going back to Vick a little bit, the thing that worries me is Eagles' offensive line is still a joke. The Eagles...
That's why he's getting hit so much, and that's going to be a big problem for him.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that was a problem with Kevin Cobb in there. If you throw a good offensive line there, I think he has a better game. That being said, that first game against the Packers, Kevin Cobb had jitters. I admitted at the beginning of this video I was wrong about Michael Vick, but I'm not giving anyone credit to say that I was wrong about Kevin Cobb. I don't think it's going to be with the Eagles at this point, although it may be if Vick doesn't prove to continue to play like this the second half. But I still think if he gets a shot somewhere soon, he could be good. But he's 27 or 26. He'll be 27 next year. Time's running out. This guy's got to get a shot somewhere.
Yeah, he does. Because, like you said, time's running out. I don't know. Not many quarterbacks are. Well, I mean Brett Favre, but other than him.
Yeah, but he got a chance young, and Brett Favre's a rare example. Let's just go with that. I'm Tim. He's KJ. This is Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report. Leave your comments. Tell me I was wrong, but don't rip me for supporting Kevin Cobb, because I still stick by that. Although I'd take Vick over Cobb now at this point. I was wrong about that. We'll see you later.